Ghana Health Service reviews Ghana's COVID-19 isolation procedures for international arrivals at Kotoka International Airport. Euphoria that characterizes its Christmas church services missing on Boxing Day. And Nobel Peace Prize laureate Archbishop Desmond Tutu dies aged 90. Good evening and welcome to the special edition of Boxing Day News at 7. My name is Rahmatu Mahmoud Jawando. We're streaming live on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. We're also live on Ghana Television. The Ghana Health Service has announced a review of the Ghana's COVID-19 isolation procedures for international arrivals at the Kotoka International Airport. The review includes strict monitoring of persons deemed eligible and cleared to isolate at their homes after testing positive at the airport.
The Ghana Health Service in a statement said the review comes to add to the previous protocols that have existed since September 2020. Officials at the Ghana Health Service said the review has become necessary following a trend of positive cases of COVID-19 being among vaccinated and asymptomatic persons. The measures are introduction of home isolation for eligible persons who, following assessment by the Port Health Unit of the Ghana Health Service, are found to be eligible, will be allowed to undergo isolation in their homes. They will, however, be subject to strict monitoring to ensure compliance to the protocols. The statement said all such passengers will be briefed on the self-isolation protocols. Earlier this month, it said all persons flying in and out of the country are to be fully vaccinated and to strictly follow stipulated guidelines for both self-preservation and the protection of the larger society. It also warned that airlines which bring in passengers to the Kotoka International Airport who are not fully vaccinated shall be surcharged $3,500 per passenger, and airlines which board passengers without PCR test results or transport and disembark passengers with positive PCR test results into Accra will also be fined $3,500 per passenger.
Management of Ho Teaching Hospital in the Volta region has appealed to philanthropists and benevolent organizations to support its fundraising to equip its cardiothoracic center. The acting chief executive officer of the hospital, Dr. John Tampuri, who made the appeal, is hopeful that an ultra-modern cardiothoracic center will enable the facility to provide standard cardiovascular treatment to patients in its catchment area.
The Ho Teaching Hospital is the second health facility in the country to have established a cardiothoracic center apart from the Kolibu Teaching Hospital in Accra. It also serves as a resource center for students of the University of Health and Allied Sciences. The center, however, delivers medical treatment for cardiovascular diseases but lacks the requisite equipment to treat severe cases such as surgical operations on the heart. The acting chief executive officer of the Ho Teaching Hospital, Dr. John Tampuri, is optimistic that when completed, the proposed ultra-modern center will bring relief to patients with cardiovascular diseases in the Volta, Oti and Eastern regions, as well as those from the neighboring Togo.
We are still on. All your contributions are still encouraged, and we are hoping that with your support we'll be able to provide the necessary equipment for our staff to be able to save lives.
The Vice Chancellor of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor John Owusu Japon, commended staff of the facility for their commitment towards quality healthcare delivery in its catchment area. He, however, urged them to work hard to enhance service delivery in subsequent years.
There is still a lot of room for improvement. So on behalf of the board, I wish to encourage you to do your best to correct the things that people complained about in the past and ensure that we are able to deliver a service that everybody will be happy with.
The Home Municipal Chief Executive, Mr. Divine Bosson, pledged the support of the Municipal Assembly in any move geared towards the development of the hospital. Staff of the hospital also held a Thanksgiving service and festival of 9 lessons and carols. They were treated with music and hymns by the hospital's choir, 66 Artillery Regimental Band, among other choir groups. The 9 lessons, which were read by staff and guests, encouraged staff especially to be steadfast regardless of challenges they face in the performance of their duties.
On Boxing Day today, most churches held their church services devoid of the usual euphoria that characterizes church services. This, according to the churches, is part of measures to curb the spread of COVID-19.
The euphoria that characterizes Sundays during Christmas celebrations was absent in many churches as Christians all over the world celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. Though most churches in the municipality were filled to capacity, congregants in many churches GBC News visited were not allowed to express joy through dancing. This was to serve as a preventive measure against the spread of COVID-19. Nevertheless, the congregants were inspired to show love and compassion towards their neighbors by feasting with each other at the Victory Chapel of the Global Evangelical Church at Hofiare. The parish pastor, Reverend Charles Adika, encouraged Christians to be steadfast in spite of the challenges that the coronavirus pandemic has unleashed on mankind. He also urged them to exhibit the spirit of kindness and sharing in their communities to symbolize the character of Jesus Christ.
In this season, let us learn to appreciate one another. Let us learn to tolerate one another. And let us learn to love one another. Even though things have become difficult because of Corona, we just want to use this opportunity to tell everybody that all hope is not lost. Don't give up. Take care of yourself and have hope. We believe that very soon God will give us a solution to the virus and it will be eradicated completely.
The church held a feast for all its members to commemorate the Boxing Day.
And at Tema, the message that ran through sermons at churches visited was for people to lead lives worthy of emulation.
At the St. Paul Methodist Church in Tema, the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabnabuafo, admonished families and societies to instill in children good moral values. The presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Most Reverend Dr. Paul Kwabnabuafo, said families must pray, teach and guide the young ones against immoral lifestyles. He mentioned that the LGBTQ+ crusade is an affront to the values of Christendom and society in general.
That is why you look at it and you say the family, the future of the church, it becomes bleak. How can these broken homes, how can these broken families become a future for society? It is as a result of all these threats to society that we find children on the streets.
He called on parents to learn from Joseph, Mary and Jesus and imbibe in their children the virtues of selflessness, humility, obedience, hard work, discipline and responsibility.
It is often said that children love to celebrate Christmas since they believe it is the time to get all the goodies that come with it. However, for children on the streets with no shelter and food, it is a season to hope for the benevolence of Good Samaritans. A report by Ufuru Wadakon.
It's known as a season of giving and putting smiles on the faces of the deprived in the society. For most privileged children, it is one of the best days of their lives.
We just came here. We're going to KFC to go to buy some of them, some fries and some chicken. Then from there we'll go home and have fun.
The thoughts of merrymaking is off for children who live on the streets. These street children on festive occasions continue to beg on the streets with a glimpse of hope to get more than what they gather on normal days. Lady Luck smiled on these little ones when this man, who gave his name as Wofa, shared money to them. While staying safe with the family this festive season, there is a call for an act of kindness.
Year 2022 is going to be a good year. So please remember the boy on the streets. Remember the girl on the street. Remember somebody in your neighborhood who hasn't eaten chicken for a long time. Please remember to bring a smile on somebody's face.
Pondering over ways to lend a helping hand to these forgotten children this festive season, then you can visit them with some goodies to brighten their darkest moments and put smiles on their faces. For GBC News, Ofriwa Darko reporting.
The Upper Dentra East District Police Command says it has deployed personnel in communities in the district to ensure law and order this festive season. The Commander DSP Edmond Jones Efutu advised the public to be security conscious and look out for miscreants in their neighborhood.
It was a town hall meeting organized by the Upper Dentra East Municipal Assembly to take stock of its performance during the year under review and present its budget for 2022. The Municipal Chief Executive for Upper Dentra East, Mr. Ebenezer Piafosin, urged residents to support the Assembly by cooperating with the Revenue Mobilization Team in order to raise funds to complete development projects in the municipality.
We are doing well. We are not doing poorly at all, but I want to improve upon our performance so that going forward, sanitation in Upper Dentra East will actually be enhanced.
The Member of Parliament for Upper Dentra East, Mr. Festus Kofi, was unhappy that some residents failed to honor their tax obligation. The District Police Commander for Upper Dentra East, DSP Edmond Jones Afutu, said the Ghana Police Service will ensure safety during and after the festivities.
Like church services, the whole household will say we are going to church. Then they will leave the house just like that. That means they are leaving it for the criminals to have a field day. At least, all of them somebody should remain in the house to take care of the house in terms of security. Even it can happen that it's not thieves. It can happen that there is a fire outbreak within the house. If nobody is there, that means the whole house will lose everything.
The Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Mrs. Mary Chinrihesi, says a key element that has stalled Africa's development is the lack of negotiation skills. She said this state of affairs has often led to the continent being sidelined in international cycles and is also issues consigned to the back burner. At a congregation of Nyansapo College in Accra, Mrs. Chinrihesi indicated the need to equip diplomats and representatives with strong negotiation skills to rewrite the narrative.
Nyansapo College, an offspring institution of the internationally acclaimed Institute of Diplomatic Practice and Development Policies, I2DP, in Accra, was established specifically to enhance capacity building of African officials to accelerate Africa's march towards sustainable development and plausible integration into the global system. It provides specialized knowledge and sharpens the skills of African envoys and officials in both public and private sectors charged with the international relations of their respective establishments. This it has dutifully performed since its establishment 5 years ago. At its third congregation in Accra, Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Mrs. Mary Chinrihesi, said, having served as an international civic servant for years, she realized that Africa is usually sidelined in global affairs because its representatives are ill-equipped during negotiations.
We are a massive population of the world. We are a massive landmass. And yet, We're not always given a place at the high table, not for any reason, but because we don't push and demonstrate that we have the skills which people need to make good decisions for the global environment, not only for countries.
In an interview with GBC News, Director of Nyansapo College, Professor Victor Isien, said the college is a unique brand because it is practical oriented. He said the college will, from January 2022, start undergraduate programs tailored towards building the next generation of diplomats from that level.
The initial impetus was the short-term programs, training officials from the various ministries and departments. In addition to that, we got a lot of patronage and a lot of mileage from the involvement of the ECOWAS and also the UNDP, as well as the African Union.
Some of the graduates who spoke to GBC News expressed their delight about their training and how it will help them to enhance their performance.
You know, a lot of assignments and others traveling here and there wasn't that easy, but, you know, by the grace of God and with determination, that is why we have made it thus far.
11 persons graduated with masters in international relations and development.
The Hiawa Camp prison in the Wassa Amenfi East municipality of the Western region has received items worth about 15,000 Ghana cedis for its upkeep. The inmates were also given free medical screening and medication.
The items include toiletries, soap, biscuits, drinks, maize, rice, and used clothing. The inmates were also screened and given free medication. The officer in charge of the Hiawa Camp prisons, Chief Superintendent Daniel Donko, lauded the Dai Foundation for the gesture and asked for more support in the form of skills training. Residents of Famia Krom, a farming community within the municipality, also received some items and were medically screened. The chief of Dikoto Junction, Nana Jampo, on behalf of the community, was grateful to the foundation for the support. He appealed to other organizations and individuals to emulate the gesture. The founder and president of the foundation, Reverend Ignatius Dai Jr., said the organization's mission is to put smiles on the faces of the needy in society, especially during Christmas.
The people of Banda in the Krachi Inchumru district of the Oti region have celebrated their annual Tekmanjundai festival. The paramount chief of the area, Nana Akwesi Omankomenten, made an appeal for a military base and a police station for the area to guard the peace and maintain order.
Tekmanjundai is celebrated annually by the Banda in Chumurus. It is to honor the god Jundai, who is believed to have steered them out of battles against enemies during their migratory journeys from the eastern part of Ghana to their current location. The Banda in Chumurus are part of the larger Guan group, but located in both the Oti and northern regions. The festival is a gathering of sons and daughters of the area, both home and abroad, to catch up and simply have a good time. The festival is a period of stock-taking and projections for the ensuing years, and also for contracting marriages, learning of culture, especially the Nchumru language. But that is not all. It is also a time to mend broken down family ties. The chief of the traditional area, Nana Akwesi Omankomenten, was not happy about the level of deprivation in the area, ranging from bad road network, lack of potable water, and the poor state of educational facilities. He called for the government's intervention. He called for unity among chiefs in the traditional area for development.
An immediate attention should be given to the bridge across the Interview Stream at Yes. The road from Banda to Bakamba to Kuli must also be seen as a matter of urgency. Yes.
The district chief executive for Krachi in Chumuru, Mr. Akwesi Nkrumah Ojile, added his voice to the call for peace in the area.
The Banda market has become a force to reckon with in terms of the Assembly's internal revenue generation. I am reliably informed that the Banda market and Brai markets are the main weekly source of revenue for the Assembly. In this regard, steps will be taken to upgrade structures in Banda market in addition to upgrading the Rory Park to befit its status and to make conditions friendly to the patrons of the market.
The Banda area in the Krachi Chumuru district of the Oti region is one of the leading producers of yam in the country.
If you missed some of the past week's major stories, here is an opportunity to catch up in pictures.